So today we are opening. Well, we did open. We did the video and then the phone crashed. Sorry guys. So we opened today. Sorry, wrong one. Here it is. Smash up.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Nah, he was too adorable. That's why it crashed. It was like I cannot handle the adorableness.
Here we are. Smash.
So we get dragons. We've got dragon lands. Bring down the walls. Intimidating presence. Flank attack. Dangerous ground. Raise. We've got the two ruins. Burn it down. Pirate went after the dragon. Didn't work out so well. He got burnt to a crisp. Roasted pirate. Great wyvern. We've got the two wyverns in here and three imperial dragons. I'm sorry. And we've got 4 hatchlings. So with this nice little faction we have here. No, those are another set. So with this nice little faction here. With hatchling, they have an ongoing effect after another player plays or moves a minion here. It gets -1 power until the end of the turn. Not sure. We're not. So let's see what else we got. So with Imperial Dragon, ongoing after another player plays or moves a minion here, you draw a card. Okay. Destroy a minion with Wyvern. He's 4 cost. Destroy a minion here of power 3 or less. His talent, reduce the breakpoint of this base by 3 until the end of the turn. Other, let's see, Great Wyvern. Great Worm. I've been calling him Wyvern. I'm sorry, guys. His name is Worm. Ongoing. Other players here are awarded 1 less VP from this base when it scores. Sounds interesting. So far, this faction is interesting, but let's continue on. So we have an action. It's called Burn It Down, Destroy a Base, and any actions played on it, replace it with the top card of the base deck or a base from the discard pile. All minions from the original base remain. So this is interesting, and I haven't actually showed you guys the bases yet, so we can keep that in mind. Ruins is an action. Play on a base. Ongoing. Other players here are awarded 1 less VP. So it looks to me as if this team, the Dragon faction, is more about sacrificing its own, if it has to, and also reducing the amount of base points your opponent gets. We'll go over their bases in a minute before we move on to the next faction. For raise, we have. Let's see, it's an action. Play on a base. Ongoing, this base's ability is canceled. Okay. Another action, dangerous ground. Play on a base. Other players must discard a card to play a minion here. So we're sacrificing minions here. We're lowering the base breaking point, and we have the potential to go ahead and get rid of a base. So let's keep that in mind. Another action, flank attack. Search your deck and or discard pile for an action that can be played on a base and play it as an extra action. Shuffle your deck if you searched it. Let's see, intimidating presence is an action. Play on a base. Other players' minions here have -1 power. For the special, you must before a base scores, you may play this card there. So you don't even have to. So the good thing is that there's a free cost card. This card, you don't have to go ahead and play it right away. When a base breaks and you're scoring it, you can go ahead and just be like, boom, I'm playing Intimidating Presence. All your guys are -1. We're scoring it. I win because, I have X, Y, and Z, and your guys freaking are lower than mine. We have another action that we play on a base, which honestly, that's all this faction really does. They play on bases. So ongoing, before this base scores, you may play a minion here. So play that on a base, bam, and then you can go ahead and play one of your minions on base. So, I mean, You got a couple high score cards. And remember that with Smash Up, you're also going to be using other factions. You're not just going to have one faction. You guys are going to be going ahead and just whatchamacallit, taking turns picking a faction. But for the last card, Dragonlands, it's ongoing. Your minions here have +1 power, and the special is before base scores, you may play this card there. So that's a very interesting card because it brings in an interesting play. Whereas before we saw that we don't have to play the card for what is it? For like Intimidating Presence, we saw we didn't have to play the card right away to go ahead and we could go ahead and play an Intimidating Presence when the base breaking point happens and we're scoring it. Whereas Dragonlance is a card that you could play. You could potentially play it before the base reaches breaking point, or you could go ahead and play it when the base hits breaking point. Either way, if you play it before the base hits breaking point, now all your minions get +1, and you're much closer to the breaking point. So it kind of depends on what type of game you're playing, whether you're playing the long game or whatever. So we're gonna go with so now we're gonna move on to the other one. So their bases are Dragon's Lair, breaking point of 18. The winner draws 3 cards. Okay, so not sure we'd want to go ahead and negate that effect. Depending, you're winning. If you know you're gonna win that, then keep the effect. If you're not, then just I would say negate it. Worm's Desolation. Each minion here has -1 power. So it's a double-edged sword. You're nuking your minions, but you're also nuking your opponents. We'll just put this over here for now. Here, you want to hold that for me, please? All right. So next we have sharks. Let's put this back here, actually. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab them. So we have Airjaws. Now there's 3 cards in this set that, yes, it looks blurry. That's just how they typed it. Usually, but the graphics are still really great. They're usually really good with these cards. I don't know what happened there. Why it just came out blurry-ish. It sort of hurts your eyes, but whatever. I guess it's supposed to add to the fact that you're supposed to feel like you're drowning or whatever. Airjaws, move one of your minions to another base, then destroy a minion there of power 3 or less. Okay. Next we have Dangerous Waters. Again, this is just like, this is one of the other cards that it came out a little blurry. Don't know. You play it on a base, talent, choose a minion here. It gets -2 power until the end of their turn. Next we have Week of the Sharks. So with Week of the Sharks, you go ahead, it's ongoing, it's on for a base. If you have a minion here, you draw an extra card at the end of your turn, and you only use 1 Week of Sharks ability each turn. So you can't use it more than once. Then we have the freaking laser beam. I kid you not, that is actually what it says. You choose one of your minions, destroy a minion with equal or lower power at your minion's base. So it seems like this is more of a faction that's out to destroy or lower power. But we'll get to that. We have Feeding Frenzy. So choose a base, destroy any number of minions there of power 2 or less. So they cover the 3 or less, then they cover the 2 or less. So we're looking at an interesting play here. For Chum, we have the play on a minion. So this is going to go on a minion, as opposed to where we saw with dragons, where they were just on bases. Ongoing, after a minion is destroyed, place a +1 power counter on this minion. So that's another interesting one. Let's see, Torn Apart. You destroy a minion of power 3 or less, and then you draw a card. So they have draw power. Blood in the Water. Play on a base. Ongoing. After a minion is destroyed here, you may play a minion here of power 3 or less as an extra minion. Next we have our Megalodon. Smoking a cigar.
Another Megalodon.
Yep. So we have one Megalodon in this set. You may destroy a minion of power 4 or less here. Before this base scores, you may destroy a minion here of power 3 or less. So that's actually a very interesting engine right there, effect right there, because that's actually never been done before. Usually it's before the base is scored, play a minion here or something like that, or sack this minion and whatever. So next we have the what's his name? Great White, who has a talent instead of an actual, like, like the other ones where it's just an effect or whatever. This is an actual talent. Move this minion to another base and destroy a minion there of power 2 or less. Thank you. Now, there's another Great White. What's the next card we have?
Hammerhead.
So we got Hammerhead next, who is ongoing. After a minion here is destroyed, place a +1
Another
power
Hammerhead.
counter on this minion.
Another one.
So they're more about counters. See? Counters, destroy, and whatnot. And their main thing is really just counters and destroy. I mean, they have other stuff there, but from the pattern we're seeing here, it's just counters, destroy, and call it a day. Bing, bang, boom. Next we have Mako. Special, after you destroy a minion on any base, you may play this minion there as an extra minion. So that's their thing. They're gonna destroy, they're gonna go ahead and -1, they're gonna do they're gonna have their occasional -1 thing, but they're more destroy. So you're gonna want to play this with a faction that wants to destroy. And again, like I said, I will go ahead and shoot another video showing the different combinations that you can do with certain factions, what factions work together, and what have you. For their base, you have the Deep, which is after you play a minion of power 4 or more here, you may destroy a minion with less power here. Then we have Shark Reef, which is after a minion is destroyed here, the player that destroyed it may place a +1 counter on one of their minions. So we're not going to go into detail about every single one, but you do have like a Tornado faction too. So we have the Tornado Alley, we have the Trailer Park, we have Carried Away, we have Gone with the Wind. Some of these factions will make references to different movies, comic books, in the case of the superheroes. We have Whirlwind, Trade Winds, Over the Rainbow, for those of you that know about Wizard of Oz. We have Ripped Off, Picked Up. This one is actually a reference back to with the alien. As far as the alien in the picture, that one's actually a reference back to the core set that you guys get, that you guys may have or may not have gotten, which actually has an alien faction in there. That is one of the aliens in there. Not in Kansas, another Wizard of Oz reference. Monster Tornado. Cyclone, which actually if you look closely, you'll see the shark in the tornado. So that's actually a reference to Sharknado. Twister, there's the cow. That's actually a reference to that movie Twister.
We saw that movie.
Next we have Dust Devil. So that's another one.
And remember when?
So yeah, Bret Michaels. Before, so let's see, we have moving the base. Then we have, so with the Tornado faction, it's a very interesting faction because it's more about moving stuff around. There's definitely more of a thing about moving stuff around. So you can go ahead and transfer stuff, you can go ahead and destroy stuff. So that's their thing. They're just gonna go ahead and move stuff around, play stuff around. All of a sudden, base gets scored. Okay, let's go ahead and play a minion. All right, so and you actually get some benefits from moving stuff around. Next, we have the Oracle of Delphi, Wooden Horse, Favor of Poseidon. All right, these are a bunch of favorite cards. Apollo, Hera, Zeus, Hermes, Athena, Dionysus, Aphrodite, Ares, and Hades. Then we have our Greek mythic heroes: Odysseus, Jason, Heracles, Spartan, which is a reference to the 300, and Argonaut. Those are our mythic Greeks, which are going to go ahead and trigger. You got trigger abilities, you got +1 counters in this one. These are pretty much all over the place, but their main thing is going to be cost gain, power gain, power gain, power gain. The other thing they're going to do is things like discard certain things just to go ahead and get something. You can play extra minions with them, replenish your hand, play extra actions. You can go ahead and reduce the breakpoint, which a lot of factions tend to have, where they can go ahead and reduce the breakpoint. Some don't. You know, draw cards, hand replenishing and stuff. And then you just get, and then of course you get an actual reward. You get rewarded for going ahead and adding stuff in there, on the bases and gaining power and stuff. Next we have the Converted Cave, Crystal Fortress, Superman reference, Sidekick, Expanded Power, Radioactive Exposure, reference to Radioactive Man from Marvel, Secret Base, Batman reference, Golden Age, Flash reference. My Only Weakness, this is sort of that reference to, but like a female version of Superman. Of course, it's more like a reference to Supergirl. Anyways, Justice Friends, Not Really Dead, Mind Lady, Captain Amazing, The Burst, Awesome Guy, and now this is unusual, but we have 5 mild-mannered citizens. The reason why I say that's unusual is because all the other factions have 4 of each one, especially in the expansion. So that's something that so that's why I'm gonna actually go over mild-mannered citizen. So for him, he's a minion ongoing. At the start of your turn, you may destroy this minion to search your deck for a minion of power 5 or more. Play it here as an extra minion and shuffle your deck. So the reason why you have 5 of him is actually because he's very important. Because your minions here cannot be destroyed if you have. So let's see, we have after minion play. So we have a couple different things going on with this faction, where you could go ahead and sacrifice, bring out a minion. You can go ahead and prevent your minion from being destroyed. You can go ahead and gain +1 counters. You can protect your minions' abilities. You could play 2 minions, so you could go ahead and gain power. It could be +1, or some of them will be +1, some of them will be +2, and you could keep your minions' abilities from being canceled. On top of that, you can also play like 2 extra minions. You could play you could go ahead and replenish your deck from your drop area. Instead of having to wait for your deck to run out, you can go ahead and place 3 minions on the bottom of your deck, which is pretty cool. Again, you have a couple cards that can go ahead and prevent your minions from getting destroyed. You can search your deck for stuff. So, and then of course you have bases which go according to that. So that is that. When you buy, if you're looking to buy all the sets, I would suggest just get this big bad boy. There's the biggest box you can get. It holds every single faction in there. That's the storage space inside. Gabriel, really? And I mentioned it in my other video. It's gonna come with two factions, the Smash Up All Stars and the Geeks. Yes, we are in there, and we actually have our own faction. Us Geeks, cool, right? And of course, when you do that, you're gonna get every expansion pack. I'm gonna let you guys know right now. It's just ahead of time. These tokens are actually promos, so you can actually find them on like eBay, or you could just deep search the internet. But you will get, since you get this, you're gonna end up with doubles of these little dividers. So for instance, I just had it. I don't know where I put it. Okay, so like when you get a Smash Up expansion, they're usually gonna come with. So like for this one, we have the Tornado faction, came with one. This one actually comes with a Tornadoes faction of its own. I mean divider of its own. So these are actually going to help you. The other thing is that the expansions all come with hello. All come with their own little their own set specific tokens. So these tokens right here, yeah, but don't mess this up. Have little tornadoes around the one. And this is why you want to get the bigger, geekier box, because the core set will not actually have a place for you to store your little tokens. Just a heads up, your counters. The other thing with these counters from this set is that the 5 counter has a cape. Now remember that the bigger, geekier box is meant to carry everything from every expansion, so you have a little counter tray. Other than that, I just fixed that. Stop. Other than that, you're just gonna get this same old shenanigans. It's just gonna show you the factions that come in here. I'm just gonna clarify. This is something that they started doing shortly after the first expansion. They started clarifying certain cards, I guess because people were a little confused. After the core set, there were certain cards that, whatever. The other thing they started was something called term restrictions. And again, just remember, with this game, it's a lot of fun. It's awesome. You could play with your friends. You could play with your family. You could play it by yourself. Heck, I play it by myself sometimes just so I could figure out what factions go with what. So that is that. Other than that, you guys know, leave a comment below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. And we love you guys. Peace out. Yes, hit that thumbs up button. You remember where it is?
Right here.
No, it's like to the right. My right. Your right. Or is it your left?
My left.
Ah, man. Yeah.
Click that like button.
Yeah, and also, guys, this video is actually these products are actually are actually from a place called Chess USA and Games. So you guys can go ahead check out our website.
Yep.
We would greatly appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, or even if you guys want me to review a specific board game, I can go ahead and do that. We have nearly every board game in my store, in our store. So so take care, guys. Again, get into this game. It's great. It's definitely worth every penny you put into it, and the expansions are not that expensive. Heck, the bigger, geekier box is like $40, and the expansions are like $18 to $20, 25. So one of them's a 25, the rest are like 20, and then this one was actually on sale. My boss had it on sale for $17.95. So again, just hit that and just comment and let us know.
Hit that thumbs up like button and give us a thumbs up.
and subscribe. Bye.
this.